But if I let her go, I'll have no one.
When we are young, there are characters in movies and TV shows that we tend to fear for quite some time until we actually grow out of not being scared of them anymore. What if I tell you that there are some characters who purposely try to scare you, not for the fun of it, but to protect you from the actual danger? Today we'll be looking closely at Nebbercracker from the Academy Award nominated film called Monster House 2006 on why he let everyone think he was an evil person. A dynamic character in a story is a person who undergoes significant change, both internally and externally, good or even bad. The opposite of what a dynamic character is a static character, where the character remains the same in a story and doesn't go through any changes whatsoever. While Home Alone 1990 is not particularly a horror film, the old man, Mr. Marley, undergoes several changes in the movie. He was seen as a serial killer by the neighborhood children, and he did scare Kevin just by the way he looked in the movie. But later, we got to find out that he was a kind gentleman that saves Kevin from the burglars in the end. Another character that goes through a dramatic change in their respective film is the blind man from Don't Breathe 2016. He started as a victim when the burglars were robbing his home, but the huge twist of the movie was that he was more terrifying than expected. While the movie itself didn't quite give us a detailed background story of Mr. Nebbercracker, there was enough context shown in the film to let us know what kind of person he was before meeting Constance and after he met her. Constance was his wife who died from falling concrete. After Nebbercracker finished the house where both of them were going to live, Constance's soul transferred into the house. This probably might not be accurate with what I'm about to say, but what was shown from his background and from his house, Mr. Nebbercracker was most likely a solitary, hard-working man who lived a quiet life before meeting Constance. Based on his appearance, his old-fashioned clothes, suspenders, and mannerisms, he seems like someone who might have grown up in the mid-20th century, probably around the 1930s through 40s, and values order, routine, and control. He probably came from a working class who was possibly in physical labor jobs, like construction. This will explain how he was able to build and maintain that large house himself with no help. Before his house became haunted, he was very skilled with his hands, and he was someone who valued creating something everlasting. Nebbercracker fell in love with Constance, who has been misunderstood and made fun of for her size and weight. This showed that Mr. Nebbercracker had a compassionate side. He saw the beauty and value in someone the world mocked. Before he met Constance, he was most likely a man who didn't have much. Maybe even someone who never felt fully accepted until he met Constance. She was his world, and that is why her death hit him so hard. It wasn't just the loss of his wife, it was the loss of the only person who ever truly understood him. After her death, he became a prisoner of grief, guilt, and duty, dedicating his life to keeping others safe from the house. Even if it meant becoming, quote unquote, the crazy old man no one wanted to talk to. Before Constance died, she was a person who wanted her privacy in her house and not to be bothered. Unfortunately, Halloween came once a year, and this is when kids came to her house and threw rocks at her home all the time. This was also the day that she died and became the spirit of the house. Mr. Nebbercracker knew what the house was capable of. He knew that anyone who came close to the house would be at risk. But instead of explaining the truth, a truth that no one would believe, that is why he took on the role of a villain. If the neighborhood feared him, they stayed away. If the kids spread rumors about how mean and terrifying he was, it meant they would survive another day. From the outside, he looked like the classic scary old man yelling at kids, chasing them off his lawn and taking their belongings inside his creepy house. But underneath that tough exterior, he was a man haunted by love, guilt, and grief. That was Nebbercracker's silent sacrifice. He chose to be misunderstood, even hated, if it meant no one else would die because of the house. Nebbercracker wanted to destroy the house at the end because he finally realized it was the only way to let go of the past and to stop the house from hurting anyone else ever again. The house was no longer just a building, it literally became a monster. After Constance died, her spirit fused with the house, turning it into a living, dangerous entity. For years, Mr. Nebbercracker tried to contain it by keeping people away and isolating himself to protect the neighborhood. Once the house fully came alive and started attacking, it became clear to him that he could no longer control it. Every crack, every roar, every attack was a reminder of the woman he couldn't save and the burden he carried alone. By destroying the house, he was finally choosing to stop punishing himself for the past, including freeing her and finally giving both of them peace. He let go of the house to finally let go of his pain. DJ, Chowder, and Jenny understood Mr. Nebbercracker's reasoning of pretending to be a bad person by the end. Nebbercracker let the world see him as a monster because being a monster was safer than letting them see what the house really was.